Uber drivers always get too personal.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I just got in the Uber driver, and he's like, yeah, I got this car. It's really nice. I take good care of it. I got it because my wife, you know, separation and all that. She's being a real bitch. Making it real difficult for me right now. I'm like, God, I just want to ride.
Yeah, I had an Uber driver not too long ago who was telling me about, like, how he got divorced, and he's like, yeah, my bitch of a wife took half of everything I owned. What a bitch. And I was like, oh. And I just had to, like, he was, like, laughing, like, what a bitch. And I was like, yeah.
Did you have to be like, ha, that bitch?
Yeah, you kind of, because you don't want to feel awkward, so you kind of play along with it. And then he was telling me, like, yeah, it was this Mexican dude who was like...
Why didn't you tell him to check his privilege right then and there?
Like, dude, because he's Mexican. You can't check his privilege. He's not white.
Okay, wow.
But, basically, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm dating a black chick now. God, dude, she is wild, if you get what I'm saying. But she also, like, she'll call me, and she'll just be like, how about now, you fucking bitch? And I'm like, nah, you're the bitch. And he was literally just going into, like, all his fights with his, like, black girlfriend to me. And I'm like, all right, do you do this to every passenger? Do you just tell them about your relationship toils?
So wait, she calls him randomly?
Oh,
and
shit.
Calls him a bitch?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, dude. I couldn't really understand what he was saying. Not because of his Mexican accent, but because he just wasn't making sense. And then he started literally, at the end of the car ride, he was just telling me about how George Washington and the Founding Fathers cultivated marijuana.
Is that true? I wouldn't know.
I have no idea. But if it is true, here is a picture of...
you idiots.
Of the dude from Rocket Power, Tito. And if it's not,
then here's a picture of Squid from Rocket Power.
Fuck! You fucking kidding me?
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology? Technology!
Dude, speaking of driving with celebrities, I had an awkward encounter with Jennette McCurdy, the girl who played Sam on iCarly.
Oh, yeah.
Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So, I'm leaving the Game Grumps office to go home, and I call an Uber, and it says, like, my Uber driver needs to complete another trip. But I see him, like, coming up the road, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is him. And he pulls up and stops and looks at me, so... I'm like, okay, well, the trip's not over yet, but I guess I guess he wants me to get in. So I'm like, do I get in? And he's like, get in, son. So I get in the front seat, and then, like, he starts driving off, and he's all confused because, like, now he has two different Uber trips in his car at once, and he is very confused. He's this older dude, and I can tell he doesn't really know where he's going. And he's like, oh, where am I taking you, young lady? And I hear this girl in the back seat like, oh, I don't know, I've never been there. And I look on the phone screen, and it says, like, current client, Jennette. And I looked in the little rearview mirror, and it was fucking Sam from iCarly. And I was like, holy shit.
Jennette.
So
You know what happened? You know what the real story is?
What?
Fucking Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider sent her to come, like, scope us out and to kill it because we were making fun of him in our videos. What a weird coincidence, though.
She was meeting up with him.
You know, he starts driving, like, circles around the block, not knowing where he's going. And she's like, I'm going to this one place.
Wait, did he start, like, driving circles around the outside?
Yeah,
around
like...
the outside, round the outside.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, continue.
But he was actually dropping Jennette McCurdy off exactly where he was picking me up. He just didn't drop her off when he picked me up. So then he drove, like, around this little neighborhood and then, like, down the highway, or not the highway, but down, like, the main road, and then through a Rally's parking lot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. He just didn't know where he was going. And then finally he dropped her off because I was like, oh, you're going here? You want to go here? And she was like, oh, thank you. She was super sweet, super nice, super beautiful. I wanted to smell her hair. And she got out of the car, and I watched her walk away. And that's the last time I'll probably ever see Jennette McCurdy.
Creep.
No, Ryan, I'm not. She's a beautiful woman. She was
she probably, that's a creepy man.
She's probably listening to this podcast. I bet she loves SuperMega. But dude, they're like, what are the odds? You know, we make the iCarly video, and then we make the wrestling video making fun of Dan Schneider, and then just like 2 weeks later, I get into an Uber with Jennette McCurdy because I wasn't even supposed to get in the Uber with her. He was dropping her off and picking me up, but he just somehow, like, I don't know, he was confused, so he let me get in the car while she was still in it, and then drove around the block with both of us in it. Dude, I was, like, in a cold sweat, though. I was just like, oh, my God, that's Jennette McCurdy. Holy shit. I just, like, I saw her in the mirror, and I was freaking out, but...
You dropped trowel?
I dropped trowel, and I took a shit right in the front seat of the car. And she said, "Oh my God, that's just like Dan."
Just like Dan.
What was that?
I don't know. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. You're.
Hello, I'm the nostalgic
What has this
critic.
podcast become? Now?
I don't know. People are now like, you know how people zone out? They're tuning in all of a
They're
sudden.
like,
with,
what's going on?
Oh my God!
They're like
Hello?
they're trying to do their homework while they're like doing this, and they're like paying attention. It's kind of like white noise in the background, and then just like.
Probably not.
For the Xbox Go.
Yo, Keita, how you feeling about the series? I'm sure he's been watching every episode.
He's your biggest fan. He loves SuperMega.
He loves SuperMega. He
You
definitely
say,
did-
"Oh, Tony Yayo say funny thing."
he
I don't know
did-
why I made him sound like an Islander.
An Islander?
Yeah, I guess.
He's Jamaican.
Japan is an island.
Yeah, but you were referencing the not Irish, Jamaican people.
No, I was like,
The Irish Jamaican.
I mean, I was trying to make him sound Japanese, but he sounded more like a sort of Pacific Islander thing.
Specific Islander.
Bring it full circle.
The Jamaicans say, "Hey man, I'm a man."
They say beer can.
Beer can, I'm a man.
Do the weed.
It's funny because it's Jamaica and it's weed.
Bob Marley, very good.
I need to get me a big fucking Bob Marley poster for my room.
Remember the Jamaican Uber driver we had?
He was Jamaican me crazy.
Was he smoking a big fat blunt?
He was Jamaican me crazy.
What happened? I don't remember this.
Remember he was singing a lot and just not paying attention while driving and kept going down the wrong streets.
I feel like I should remember this.
Julian, you remember the Uber when
He almost died.
he got halfway in the car and he started driving
Yes,
away?
that was like 3 days ago.
It was very recent. And then we had the Uber driver who got pulled over by the police because he almost hit 2 different people while driving and almost hit a cop.
You have bad luck with Uber drivers.
I feel like it's just because we take them so often.
Yeah, probably.
I've never had too bad of a luck with riding Uber.
Usually we have just fine drivers.
My Uber driver this morning was this big guy, and he's like, "Man, weed, that shit poisons your brain." He was giving me a big lecture on it. I didn't even ask about it. I
Yeah,
don't even-
we've never had
why?
people like that at
He
least.
was giving me a huge lecture. I
You
didn't
didn't
even,
like weed?
I didn't bring it up at all. We
Does
were
he
talking.
know-
No, we were talking about King Taco, the restaurant, and then he was like, "Man, shit's good." I mean, he just went on a tangent about how weed is awful and kills your brain.
Yeah, but does he know what state he lives in?
Yeah, I know. It's like, man, everyone's smoking it out here.
That's why he probably brought it up. He probably assumed. I mean, he's not
He
wrong.
smelled it on you.
too.
What?
He's not wrong about you too.
What are you talking
He
about?
knows what you do.
I don't do weed.
He doesn't do weed.
Julian does weed, and he throws up everywhere.
That is true. Wait, Matt, you. Are you the
No,
peers?
no, I have to take the fall for him.
Thanks.
I am the one.
Okay. Living under the.
I am the weed
bed.
smoker.
I stick to good old cocaine. Ding dong and I
That's why he's all white.
did so much coke he turned white. I got a lift yesterday from E3 because there's no way I'm driving to downtown LA during E3. And this really nice Indian dude picks me up. And see, I'm jet lagged as hell right now. And the reason I was leaving E3 was because I was in a Monster Hunter World demo, and
Yeah.
the jet lag just it hit me in a matter of 10 minutes so
It was
bad.
like, boom, baby, I'm here.
Yeah, I could not keep my eyes open, so I'm like, I gotta go home. So, like, fingers crossed, I'm like, please, I just want an Uber driver that's not gonna talk, because I just want to, like, shut my eyes in the back seat and get home. And right now, it's gonna take, like, 40 minutes to get home with the traffic. I got the most energetic driver I've ever had in my life.
How old was he?
I think he's, like, 30s, in his late 30s.
Was he balding?
No, he actually looked surprisingly young. He was an
Okay.
Indian dude, and he was super, super nice and charismatic. He was just, yeah, his energy was at 100, and mine was at 3, and he was, like, just talking to me, like, because, you know, usually you get in, you exchange, like, hey, how are you? Like, good, how about you? How's your day? Good. And then it just kind of, but then he just kept going with the conversation. There wasn't a moment of silence in that entire 45-minute ride home.
Why weren't you just
I
like,
did.
Hey.
I was like, hey man, I'm really I was like, man, I was dropping little breadcrumbs. I was like, man, I'm just like, you know, right now my internal clock is set to the other side of the world, so I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna go home and crash, and I might even shut my eyes right now. And he's like, and just keep it. I'm like, oh. But then he's telling me how he's an aspiring actor out in Los Angeles. He moved here from India, and he's in some like web series and stuff, and he's on IMDb, and it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, awesome, man, that's great. And he was talking about his acting career, and then I told him like, I told him what I do, and he was like, hey, my friend, can I add you on Facebook? And I was like, yeah, because I'm really awkward and passive, and I didn't want to like. I'm really bad at saying no because I still got like 30 minutes.
Say
in the Uber.
no. Just say I don't know you, dude.
Well, I said yes, and then I sent him a friend request.
Why did you send it? Well, you could have easily not sent him one. What?
Because I was too awkward and nervous. So then I get home and I'm like, shit. I just added this. Like my Facebook is very private. I only have like close friends and family on there. That's the only social media that I have. That is like my personal life. Everything else is open to the public for everyone to see. But Facebook is personal because that's people from childhood, from high school, from college, from family, from space, from hell. It's like those are people that I want to keep in touch with. So that's why I don't have that open to the public. And then I'm like, and I got this dude. So I get home and I see that he hasn't accepted it yet. So I unsent it. And I felt so bad. Like still to this,
who cares?
I feel terrible now. Because he was like, I got out of the car. He was super excited. He's like, my friend, we're going to work together. And then I unsend it. And
why does he sound Russian?
I don't know. I can't. My friend,
even
we're
going
going to work together.
You're Norwegian. What?
My Norwegian?
Sorry, you're
Nigerian.
You're Nigerian. It says fucking narwhal. Is that Norwegian? It's not even. That's not even how you.
I always say Norwegian by accident.
Norwegian.
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 It's usually Norwegian.
Fuck that country. Whoever lives there, fucking
you. Nuke them, dude. Get them out of here.
Christ.
Get them out. I'm done with them.
They're gross.
Fuck them, dude. But I feel really bad, dude.
Yeah.
I just like I have this like moral
obligation to
like to add this guy on Facebook, and I still have his name.
Maybe
saved.
you would have become best friends.
Maybe like he
could have been the third perfect person for Super.
He's on. I think he's on some MTV show or something. Like he's not failing as an actor. So maybe like this was God was giving me this.
He's doing Uber.
Well, it's a side job, you know. Being an actor is not easy. You're not gonna make a lot of money.
No, you're not. No, most actors don't make shit.
I know, especially if you're like up and coming or trying to be an actor in LA, because trying to be an actor in LA is fucking difficult. That's like so many people try to do that.
Oh,
so
and by the way, I'm not knocking Uber drivers. I've actually thought about becoming one.
Just can't with your car though. You need 4 doors.
I know, but I could become a Lyft because there's like a 1-passenger thing I think on Lyft.
Oh yeah, I've been using Lyft more now.
But you keep breaking my car, so.
How am I breaking your car?
The seat doesn't work.
What do you mean the seat doesn't work?
The cover of the
How do you know I'm doing
came
that?
Off.
Okay, the cover of the armrest came off while I was out of town.
It's all gross and dirty.
I keep it clean. I throw my shit away. But you actually.
Yeah.
You had a story about your Lyft driver.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So I got back from North Carolina, home of the Braves.
Why not the South Carolina?
Home of the Braves. Why not? Because that's not where Sunset Beach is. I go to Sunset Beach every year.
Nice, dude.
It's a nice beach, a nice quiet beach. It's nice. And so I get back and I get a Lyft, and this car pulls up. It's an all like matte black Mustang, but the rims are black. Everything about this car is just Batmobile black. And so, and there's like coming from inside the
feel
car.
the subwoofer.
So I can just feel it. You know, it's in every
You're
fiber of my
black,
fucking
dude.
being
You're feeling
right
the
now.
black.
Yeah, and so I open the door. It's this guy, and he's wearing of course, he's wearing a black tank top. He's wearing a black do-rag. He's got black sunglasses on.
Was he?
And he's black. I hop in. He's like, "Yo, what up?" And I'm like, "It's good." And
Ryan McGee interacts with black people. Episode 1. Yo, what's up? It's good.
So during this whole drive, he tells me his life story. It's like this tragic 13-part Netflix miniseries.
Why do Uber drivers always do that? They always want to tell you their life stories. Like, dude, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B.
He's like, I was gonna be in the NFL, and I was like, you were? He's like, yeah, I was in training camp and everything, man. I'm like, that's cool. I was a star basketball player. I jumped the highest out of anyone on the team. My track record.
NFL's fucking football. What's he talking about? What's he talking about
He
basketball?
liked sports in high school, but I guess he was going for football. And so he's like, yeah, track, blah, blah, blah. But the system had it out for me, man. And I was like, what? It's like, they said I cheated on my SATs. I took that twice. My grades weren't even good on it. Why would I even cheat if I'm not going to make good grades? You know what I'm saying?
That's why you cheat.
No.
Because you're making bad grades. Why would you cheat if you're making good grades?
I know.
It doesn't make sense.
And they're just like, okay. Yeah, but anyways, they just picked me and some other 2 boys at random. And we got kicked out training to play football. You know, it's all good though now. I play just rec. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then all of a sudden the
Plays
phone.
what? Like the rec center?
Yeah, just rec.
Man, I play football at the rec center, man.
I don't know what he meant
rec
by
department?
that. He just said rec. Does that mean rec center? I guess.
Like the recreational department?
Why is
Like
there a
every
football
city
field
has?
in the recreational?
There's never a football field in the recreation
Then what is he
department.
talking
I don't
about?
know.
Is he speaking out of his ass?
Probably, dude.
Okay, that's great. Anyways, and he also talked to me a lot about Snoop Dogg. He talked to me about how Snoop Dogg's football league is really awesome and cool.
What? Snoop Dogg has a football league?
Apparently, I didn't look it up. I'm not fact-checking this guy. Apparently, since I believe that he played football in a rec center. He plays on, like, the ice rink or some
The
shit.
SAT fucked him in the ass.
I know. and so all of a sudden the phone rings and it's this, like, old woman going, he's like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, Tyrese is blah, 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 blah. And he's like, grandmama, I'm driving somewhere right now. He didn't say grandmama. He said, like,
Yo, you told
he said,
me
like,
Nene or something.
He
What
said,
was
like,
it?
Nene or, yeah.
You told me the other night it was like Nina.
Yeah, he was like, Nene or Nina. It was Nina or Nina. But wasn't that.
Yo,
So he like hangs up the phone on her. He's like, sorry, that was my grandma. I got a new boy.
got a new boy?
Yeah, I guess he had a new boy.
Like
So
a
I got-
boyfriend or like a little boy that he had just
A little boy,
like
I think,
given birth to
that,
with someone.
that his some woman gave birth to. And he's talking to me about his daughter. He's like, and all of a sudden he goes back. And he's like, yeah, man, I got in a car accident too. And I'm like, what? Yeah.
The man who's driving
he's-
you around is telling you, like, man, I got in a car accident.
But he told me because of the car accident, it like shrunk him an inch. Like one of the plates in his spine. Like,
Man, that other car has some magic powers, man. That's magic and shit, dude.
he told me how like one of his spinal plates like disappeared or some shit or shrunk down. It
flew out.
Now it became an inch shorter. He's like, I used to have a good posture, now I lean.
You didn't tell me that part the other night.
I didn't want to spoil the goods.
Oh, that shit's great.
That was the best
Where
part.
did part of his spine just go?
I don't know.
Disappear?
He didn't tell me, like, it didn't like exit him or anything. I don't know if he was talking about it like it was like an accordion. Like it's
like 2 Lego pieces that click together.
yeah.
The fuck?
Then he dropped me off.
No, dude, I know what it was. Like, he didn't have insurance and couldn't pay the other driver off, so they're like, man, give me one of your spinal things. And you're like, all right, man.
Oh, okay.
Popped it out and gave it to him. Shrank
Took
it
it out with
down.
some tweezers. Thanks.
Man, I love Uber drivers in LA. They're the fucking best.
I was having a good time.
You get so many great stories from them. Like, I had this one guy. I briefly talked about this in the We Love Katamari episode, but I didn't mention the best part. I forgot. He told me that he just went on this tangent. I didn't even bring up marijuana. He started talking about marijuana and how it's really bad for you and makes you stupid. And he starts telling me about how marijuana will give you erectile dysfunction if you smoke it. And I was just like, I didn't bring it up or anything. He's like, man, it makes your brain not work, man. It makes some other things not work. You know what I'm saying? He like looks over his shoulder. He's like, man, you can't get it up if you're smoking that weed. And I'm like, okay.
Ever again,
Dude, you put that joint to your lips,
you'll become impotent for life.
your cock shrivels up like a little water balloon with no water.
Where does that liquid go? In your ass. Into a tumor in your ass. Now you have ass cancer. All because, what, Matt?
Marijuana.
Boom, baby!
It's a good sound clip. The boom baby. Oh man, dude. But
Woo.
I remember another time I was in an Uber, and the driver was telling me how the founding fathers all grew and smoked marijuana. So I've heard very conflicting accounts about marijuana from Uber drivers.
I thought it was like they grew hemp, which is not marijuana.
Well, he was telling me it was marijuana.
Illegal to grow, isn't
I'm
it?
sure hemp
still,
is also illegal.
which is stupid because that's like you can make
it
it
for like clothes and
a bunch of
paper
shit.
and
Yeah.
medicine. Hemp is crazy awesome. That listen to me.
But oh well, it's related to marijuana.
Are they very similar plants?
Yeah. The THC levels in industrial hemp are so low that no one can get high from smoking it. So yeah, they're just two different
Oh,
plants.
so it's just like a plant that's related to marijuana that also has THC in it, but it's just a much lower. Why is it illegal?
I think you can make oils and shit out of it. I don't know.
Like why is hemp illegal?
Because it's related.
Well, it can't be that illegal because I remember like Toms were made out of hemp or something. Like
What was?
Toms, like the shoes?
Really?
There were some. This girl in my high school had shoes that are made out of hemp.
I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't know the laws and whatever's when it comes to marijuana. All I know is
law students in the comments, explain why hemp is illegal to us, please.
and don't go because
No, they can if they want to, Ryan. You don't control them. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
You just stop.
That's gonna be everyone's answer now. They're gonna be like
Just say
they're gonna
because.
have like a long intro to be like, well, see, due to your stupid fucking question about hemp and marijuana, obviously, because
God damn it!
No.
my last interaction with an Armenian man was some guy in an Uber talking about
I didn't
how
know he was Armenian. I think he was like Russian or German or something.
they're all the same thing, whatever, Russian, Armenian. And he was talking about how like he hates the homeless people, like hates them a lot. And he didn't say the word genocide, but he strongly implied there should be some sort of cleansing in Glendale specifically. That was the last conversation I had with an Armenian man.
But then we'd have no Ming if that happened, which I would not be happy about.
Yeah.
I love her deep down.
You love
do you know who
Ming?
Ming is?
I don't know who Ming is.
Ming is she's one of the main characters on our podcast we talk about every week. She's a homeless woman that we know who's
For real?
yeah, she's really wild.
One time she threw a bottle cap up in the air. It landed on my head. It was fun. There's another time where she tried to talk to me, but she only spoke in song lyrics that didn't exist.
Now, does she remember you? Does she know you?
She knows me in terms of like she.
Can you see it on her face?
Yeah, she knows me as the guy who bums her cigarettes.
And
Okay.
then I don't think she knows me. I drove by one time and I went hi, and she called me a bad word and flipped me off.
So is she like where you guys live?
Yeah.
She's like right behind.
She
where
just
we
hangs out next to where we live, like nonstop.
So
She's
do you-
always there. And in the middle of the night, she'll wake me up because she'll scream outside my window. And she one night she had a Gatorade bottle and she was screaming like you can't understand what she's screaming. She's walking by, just like smacking all the windows with Gatorade bottles and just yelling. And she'll go dance in the street, and the cops will come and
She'll
just,
chase
like,
cars
shoot.
sometimes.
Yeah, like a dog.
All
like a
right,
wild
move
dog.
along.
That's what they did. They just
Ming.
like go get.
Is her name actually Ming, or is that just what you call
No,
her?
that's her name.
We used to call her the witch because it looked like she was. It looked like she was casting spells in the alleyway.
Because she'd scream up at the sky and like do like
Large
this
hand
stuff.
gestures.
so it's like closest thing we compare it to is a witch.
Have you ever asked her about her life?
I've tried to talk to her. It didn't go well. She like
she talked about Nickelback, dude, didn't she?
She talked about Nickelback. She also talked about how she likes to hacky sack. But then I was like, oh, cool. She's like, do you skate, bud? I'm like, no.
Does she
Do you
give a
hacky
dog
sack?
she give a dog a bone? Nickelback hacky sack.
She toasted Ryan to a burnt crisp of ashes with her fire spells.
What's like I'm trying to think of like the worst thing like I've seen her do.
She puts like glass bottles in the street and like hides and waits for cars to like crush them.
What if she was just a YouTuber, dude? Like, you don't know.
She's like one of those
channel.
like crushing videos. Like she just dude,
It's a new take on the hydraulic press. Yeah.
No, Fousey Tube went homeless,
Yes.
Really?
but he wore like a bunch of
On
like,
purpose.
Oh, wow.
He went homeless to like be like, I realized I wasn't happy with I had so much money, so many cars and wonderful clothes, but I gave it all up to be homeless. So that's his new thing.
That's as far
I had
as I
so
know.
much money, and I was banging so many hot chicks, and my house was awesome, and all my friends were successful.
That's all it was. The whole video was him bragging and then being like, so I'm homeless now. But I was making like
By my own
7
volition,
figures.
by the way. It's totally by my own volition.
I know these people
Anyway,
don't have
all
a
of
choice. I do. I choose to be homeless.
For a day.
No, that's what the guy said. Sorry, you just like sparked the Armenian guy's like they choose to be homeless. I was like, what? Yeah, they choose. They live that lifestyle. They love it. They like it. But I don't like it. I'm like, okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Ryan and I got into an Uber with this Armenian guy, and he started like talking to us. The first thing he said, like, we get in the car, and this like woman walks by. She's a large barrel-chested woman, and he's like, "Oh, she got the high beams on." I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "The high beams," and he pointed. I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I just kind of like awkwardly laughed along. And the whole drive, he started talking about really sexual stuff. And he was
Women, they talk, but they fuck.
yeah, he was like, man, you know, the smartphone is the greatest invention, man, because you got, you know, girls in real life, they talk and they get up in your face and argue, and you got to buy them shoes. But with the smartphone, you got them on a screen, you got millions of them. And you get weird shit, like you get women with dicks. And I was like, all right. And Ryan was just like, yes, sex.
There's a whole video recording, like audio recording.
Ryan was like, oh, sex, yes. And the guy was like, yeah.
I don't get that, man. Like, dudes will. I was in a Best Buy once, and I just like bought American Psycho on DVD, and this guy was like, "Hey, is that a good movie?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, I love this movie. That's why I'm buying it." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what's the sound quality like on that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I guess it's, you know, maybe it's, I don't know. Check out the back. Oh, it says it's uncompressed. That's cool." And say, "Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool, man. Check out the tits on that girl." That's just
weird
like,
as shit, dude.
What? Like, it's not. We're not.
How is that like the number one thing to go to?
Yeah.
Oh, man. How about the vagina, dude?
Nice.
I
like-
wish I could see her vagina.
But I can't.
It's like,
I'm sad and miserable.
Damn it.
it's always like so, it's so uncomfortable.
Darn my
to
lucky
me
stars.
when guys like try to, like, when guys I don't even know try to talk like sexual stuff, it's like, yeah, dude, let's open up about our sexuality. It's
Yeah,
like,
man.
look at her breasts.
I just
like, yeah, dude.
You know, like in the movies, he's like, dude, did you get to have sex with her? Yeah, dude. I wish it was just like, dude, did you have sex with her? Yes. Oh.
Imagine me. You should just like completely gross somebody out and just be like, you know, it's like, check out the tits. I'd just be like, man, I'd like to stick my 12-inch cock between those bazongas and just in and out and in and then go to like spin it and
You're
just
actually
imagine
spinning.
me naked fucking that woman, like just really make it super uncomfortable for the guy.
Dude, what? I thought we were talking about sex stuff.
Yeah, it's like what the hell? This is what guys talk about.
I remember
This is what dudes talk about.
when I was in like
It's bros.
8th or 9th grade, my friend's dad took me and my friend to Hooters for some reason. I remember he was like, he kept leaning over me. He was like, what do you think about the rack on her? And I was just like, you know, it was really uncomfortable. It could probably hold a lot of spices.
But I know what's not real science.
What's not real science?
The way Uber works. Like that segue.
That was a good segue.
But the most surreal moment in an Uber, like yesterday. So I call an Uber from work because I was like, Matt can have the Fiat to
Thanks,
drive
dude.
home. Blah blah blah.
You're a real bro.
Thanks. But I order the Uber, and this guy pulls up, and so I get in the back seat, and I see there's like a children's drawing in the back seat. And I'm like, okay, I'll move this. So I pick it up and I move it over, and he turns back because he hears like me rummaging with something. He's like, I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm moving this, so I don't step on it and ruin it. He goes, oh, my son wanted me to give this to his friend. Shit. Then he like picked it up and looked at it and just stared at it for a long time and just was like, then he like set it, like threw it to the side. He's like, Then he did that thing where like, I don't know how to explain this movement. He puts his hand over his brow.
Over his furrowed brow.
Yeah. And he's like, then he starts hitting his steering wheel. He's like, just, I'm like, what the fuck? And he turns back and he's like, I'm sorry. It just going through some stuff with my wife right now. I'm like, what? She's like, well, this separation. Like he made sure to say this separation as in like there's been more.
There've been
in the
multiple
past.
separations in the past.
And so then afterwards he was like kind of redheaded and then he just was silent and then he changed subjects and that was the end of that. I wasn't gonna press him about it.
You should have said, what was with that freak out you just had there over your son's drawing?
He was hitting his steering wheel, just dang it! Sorry, my wife and I are separated. I'm thinking about my kid because this is his friend's drawing, and I just had the kid in the car, and I'm like, okay.
What a weird trigger for a freak out. His son's friend left a drawing in his car, and in front of a stranger that he's driving Uber for, just has this.
When he parked to drop me off, he wasn't like bye. He just parked and then turned around, started talking to me, and he wouldn't let me leave.
That's happened to me before. They won't they'll pull up, and instead of turning around and be like, all right, see ya, they'll turn around, just start having a conversation.
It's like, I don't want to. I just like,
hey,
I
man.
just don't. Like, as much as I love talking to people, as much as customer service at the local Food Lion back in South Carolina has taught me to appreciate people as their individual beings and to appreciate everyone's unique sense of sensibilities.
Right.
There's sometimes I just kind of want to be to myself and just kind of, this is a service. Sometimes I'm in the mood and I have long conversations with Uber drivers, and I have great conversations.
Yeah, but then there's sometimes.
But I'm not
you
going to
get
have a
in an Uber.
conversation with the guy that just had a freak out in the beginning of our drive about, I didn't know, because you're not supposed to drive when you're emotionally unstable.
I know, you can crash your car, or you'll drive too fast, which is risky.
It seemed like every 30 seconds he remembered something about his wife, because he would just go...
I wish people could see your face right now. The way you play it on your face is hilarious.
It was just this. I looked in the rearview mirror, and it was just this one time with his eyes. She goes, I'm like, God. I feel bad for the guy because nobody...
Going through some shit, man.
Yeah, he's going through
shit.
some serious shit, and I feel bad for him. But at the same time...
He's on the job. It's weird.
I wanted to get home.
Did you give him... Here's the real question. What rating did you give him?
Oh, shit. I think I can rate him, actually. I forgot to rate him. I can rate him right now. I'm going to my Uber app. You're watching me.
Give him 5 stars.
You want to look at this guy?
But leave a comment and say I hope things work out between you and your wife.
This was him.
Let me see his picture.
I can't.
Let me see this sweet man.
It's really small. Who's that guy?
Oh, man, I can see him doing it right now. I can see it in his face. I can see him having that freak out. He has a
sad face.
Very sad. Like, he took that picture.
Let me give him a 5-star to make him feel better.
He had to have taken that picture, like, the day he found out he was separating with his wife.
Yeah, like, no. The picture he took is a picture his phone accidentally took of him receiving a text from his wife that she wants a divorce. That's what it looks like. Like, he's just looking at it like look at it again.
I see it, dude.
He's mindset in there.
He looks like he's in shock. You know what it looks like? He opened his phone to take a picture of, like, the divorce papers to send over to his divorce lawyer, but accidentally had the front-facing camera on, and he snapped that picture, and it saved to his camera roll. And then when he started driving Uber the next week, he needed a picture, and he just found that one that he had accidentally taken and used that. That's what it looks like.
I should start beating up some of these Uber drivers. I have a 4.81 as a rating. I should be a 5-star. All I do is sit in the back.
That's the thing,
and
dude.
Shut my mouth.
Same.
And I look on my phone, and that's it.
I don't understand.
If they talk to me, I'll talk to them. But I'm not loud. I'm not, like, on my phone. I'm not, like, slamming doors. I make sure to shut them, like, very quietly.
Oh, I do the same thing.
I'm, like, super respectful. I don't know what, like, that means someone had to have rated me, like, 2, 3, 1 star at some point.
Yeah, my Uber rating's almost the exact same as yours. It's like 4.82 or 4.83. And I don't understand because I'm very polite. I just sit in the back seat, don't open my mouth unless they talk to me. Usually I'll put my headphones in. I'll just relax. And when I get out, I make sure when I shut the door, I don't slam it. So someone was just like, I didn't like him that much.
Like, what is that?
Maybe it's because...
I know why. It's because sometimes when I, like, place a pin for them to pick me up, they don't find the pin and they probably just assume it's my fault and they get frustrated and go, fuck, stupid. He made it hard for me to pick him up. And, like, I'm the idiot here giving them 5, like, whoever rated me a low star, I know for a fact that I gave him the highest tip I could and I gave him 5 stars just because that's an automatic, like, thing.
I only give 5 stars on Uber. And if I don't like them, I just don't rate them because I don't want to, I don't know, just because I feel bad because their job is driving Uber, so I don't want to, like, screw their job over. Maybe they're having a bad day, so. Unless,
like, they turned around and spit in my face, I'm not probably going to rate them bad.
See, that guy had a freak out in front of you, and the whole ride was just, and you still gave him 5 stars.
Because it was a decent ride. Yeah. Like, just because he's going through some shit doesn't mean I'm going to be like, ugh, I don't have time to deal with this. 1 star. I should have, you know how you can write a compliment? I should have just said man up. God. That would have been like...
Say, is your wife on the market?
Oh my
She's single now.
I can take care of your son if need be.
I'll deliver the drawing to him. Just give me the wife's address. I'm sure she's with him.
You said she works at this Asian restaurant? Okay.
Just go and deliver the drawing to the wife. She's like, "What is this?"
You know, your husband wanted me to give it to you.
Saves the marriage. It's like a beautiful drawing. But I just got back from South Carolina. Spent a week in Columbia, South Carolina, visiting some college friends. My friends Jackson and Harrison and Christian. Had a great time. Just kicking back, having a good time. Just goofing around. Went to the South Carolina State Fair. Very underwhelming this year. The day I went, there was like nobody there, just empty.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
A surprise! It was a Thursday night. No one was, because I think everyone was drinking. Because Thursday night's the bar night, so no one was there. I didn't mind though, but I did have an Uber. And it was a woman in a van.
What's it like getting an Uber in Colombia?
Well, she had a van, and she had a Tupperware of fried chicken that she was just eating on, munching on.
I didn't know if that was like a tray for anybody who climbed into her Uber.
See, I didn't know that either, and I was kind of wanting some, but I wasn't gonna. That Uber smelled like cat shit.
Miss South Carolina food. Fuck.
It smelled like cat shit. That whole Uber was just like. I think this woman was a hoarder. She just kind of gave off the vibe that she was a hoarder just from her van and the way she looked. And she had a little Tupperware fried chicken, and car did not smell good.
I got into an Uber recently, and he had these these waterproof bags tied to each seat that like you could zip them open and put like little messages in them, like a piece of paper or something.
Why?
I don't know, but
in case the car goes in some water?
In the piece of paper, it was like smile, you're on camera. And like then I see a camera at the top of his vehicle, and I'm just like, this is weird.
That is, because I've seen Uber drivers with dash cams that also film the inside of the car, which, I mean, I get that for liability stuff. Like, let's say you take a drunk passenger and they throw up all in the back of your car. Yeah. You have that for proof and liability stuff. But I don't know, that's almost
he went
out
of his way to like
be like, you're being filmed in my car.
So I didn't talk or anything. I was like, oh, okay,
that's weird. I really like,
because I always think of the worst shit. Like I always picture a guy like that or just something. He'll go back and look at footage and shit, or he'll have I don't know,
like upload it to his weird archive of Uber passengers.
I don't know.
This is Ryan McGee from SuperMega. Hit YouTube channel.
If he's not a business, so he's not legally allowed to film me, is he?
I guess, but you're in his car, so I think he is.
Oh, it's his property.
It's his property.
Yeah.
You're getting in. Man, let's quit this podcast. Let's drive Uber.
Okay,
dude, let's do a double Uber where we're always in. Like, we'll take turns driving, but I'm always in the front seat. We're both always in the front seat.
We both have a steering wheel.
Like we get a second steering wheel put in, and it just
we have a lever that changes. No, we have a timer, and we don't know when it will change, but at some point, it'll change the steering to one of us.
Just like, oh, no. Imagine if we got that put in, and we both wore the same outfit and never said a word, and we both steer, and we just pretend like we're both driving. Like we just never say a word, and we have the same haircut, same shit, and we're both turning. I would, if I got in a car and that was happening, I would love that. I'd have the ride of my life.
I'd give him a 5 stars.
Oh, I would too. I would definitely give him 5 stars. Run and jump over that part. Yeah, that's right, brother. That's right, my brother. We are Ryan. We're like the Super Mario Brothers. Matt Watson and Ryan McGee from SuperMega.
Look at me go.
You're tuned in to Super Mega Cast, the only podcast made by brothers for brothers.
Welcome back. I knocked the cord of the mic, whatever. This is the 70th episode of the Super Mega Cast. I'm here with my good buddy Matt.
That's me.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Matt.
And Matt, I believe you had something to talk about, right? You had something to start us off with, to kick us off, kind of like a good football game.
Yeah, a good football. Well, it wasn't anything big. I just had like a really small thing I could like throw in after because I thought you were gonna start with something and I could have just like thrown in afterwards.
Oh no. Because in the beginning, just keep going.
Well, no,
what were you gonna say?
It's not a big story now.
I'm sure we could branch it off into something.
Okay, on the way here, I was trying to take a Snapchat in a dark Uber, and I had my camera on the wrong facing thing, and I flashed the driver with my bright flash, and I felt very embarrassed. That's all I had to say.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Well, speaking of Ubers, I don't have any Uber stories.
Fuck, dude.
But,
I do.
But I am uber excited
For what?
The Disaster Artist, which you and I are seeing this Thursday.
Yes, we are. I'm excited, man. Well, that's today, technically, because the podcast
Oh, yeah,
comes out on
true.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Dude, I got an Uber story.
Uh-oh.
I got a real good Uber story.
Oh, okay. Go on.
So I was in Seattle over the weekend because it was Thanksgiving, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Seattle, visit some people. While in Seattle, I got in an Uber late night, and I had an Uber driver. It was a very inappropriate Uber ride. He said a lot of line crossing things. He was this large, 345-pound man, and I know that because he told me his exact weight.
340 pounds.
345 pounds.
45 pounds.
So that's a big boy. He
How tall was he? Was he at least tall?
He was 6 feet
Okay.
or 5'11".
So my height.
Yeah, something like that.
Imagine
345. Yeah.
Imagine putting about like 100 and some odd pounds onto me.
Wow.
Like 160 pounds on me.
Holy. But that's more than one of me
Yeah.
onto you. That's wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's
so
something.
But nothing about his weight. No, no offense
we're
to
not
anyone.
shaming.
I'm trying to paint the picture of what this ride was like.
Was he bald?
He was not. He had a little head of hair.
A little head.
Little head of
What's
hair.
a little head of
He had
hair?
a small head attached to his body with a little bit of hair.
Did he have one of those baby curly Q hairstyles?
Yes, he did. He did. It's very babyish. He had a baby face too. But I get in the car and he was like, "Oh, you're lanky," and I was like, "Thank you." And that's when he said his weight, and I was like, "Oh." I'm like, what do I say back to that? Like, "Oh, cool." Like, awesome, man.
Cool. I have a channel.
Yeah, so I'm actually a YouTuber.
Believe it or not, guys, we don't start off or try to put YouTube into every conversation we have with
Well,
someone.
that did come up, and I had to explain it to. It was the classic. How do you make money off of that?
No,
I'm like,
it's because people are always like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I work online." Oh, like what online? Like videos. Oh, like what kind of videos? I'm like,
Yeah, every time.
YouTube videos.
gotta
They can never just leave it at "I work
I
online."
know.
or-
We got to think of something better because I always say I just say I'm a video editor, and they
Say-
go, "Oh, what kind of videos do you edit?" And I'm like,
Say you own a small time entertainment company, and you also own a fashion line.
"Yeah." I'll be like, I should just start making shit up for fun. Be like, "Yeah, I cultivate horse food." They'll be like, "Oh, okay."
I'm Bryan Cranston's stepson.
Even though they'll just ask about Bryan Cranston, I can make a bunch of shit up and slander him.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. Like, I mean, he has this cool persona and everything, but
He doesn't want people to know. He's actually, he has like an alias he goes by, and he's a senior editor at Breitbart, believe it or not. No, but anyway, back to my Uber ride. Before we even get down the end of like the first street, he's telling me how, I got in my first crash yesterday. That was my fault. I was at fault in this crash, and I'm like, great. I've been in the car 30 seconds.
I know it's like, thanks for telling me this.
We're about to go on a long drive, and you're telling me about the crash you got in yesterday that was your fault.
Because it puts it into perspective of how these aren't like train drivers.
Yeah.
They're not like taxi drivers that know the city. They're just regular people.
Just some dude that could totally like rear end
that
Buick.
he went to like an Uber thing, got his car checked for 5 minutes.
He's
Took
like,
a
"All right."
little exam that probably took him 2 minutes.
Yeah,
It's like,
and now he's out on the road driving people around.
Now thousands of people have trusted me with their lives.
Oh, jeez, man. Like, he's driving me, and I'm trying to like be nice. I'm like, oh man, it happens to everybody. It's no big deal. Anyone can crash a car. And then I was like, he's
Happens
like,
every day. Some people die. You didn't. That's
some
cool.
people die. It's no big deal. I was like, I've never crashed a car. But now that I've said that, knock on wood. And he's like, man, that's the worst thing to say. That's like saying, I've never had the clap. And there was like an awkward silence, and I was like, yeah, man. And then he was like, hey, knock on wood. And I was like, yep. And then it was silent for a while.
Yep. And
then what
in the back, just like I picture you with your hands just
I had my hands on my
in your
knees,
laps,
yeah.
just like, yeah.
I was like, all right. And then what happened? What did he say? He started talking about, yeah, he was like, I grew up homophobic. And I was, he just opened a conversation with that.
That's like I grew up Christian, but like instead of like religious or whatever, it's like I grew up homophobic.
like in a memoir, like
I
grew up
hated the
homophobic.
gays when I was younger. Now the gays are kind of cool.
When I was a young boy, I really did not like those homosexuals. I have to say.
I'm able to suppress my violent anger towards the gays nowadays.
I keep it in check more. But like he was just telling me, and I I don't remember why he brought that up. I really don't remember.
He wanted to make because he probably thought you were gay.
He might have.
He's like, look at that bright red jacket.
Yeah, I was wearing a bright red jacket, and he said I was lanky. He's like, you're a lanky fellow. I was
I
like,
don't think lanky means anything. Like lanky isn't connected to like flamboyant or
I guess
or outwardly like stereotypically.
maybe because
gay,
I'm so
I guess.
skinny though. Like I come off as feminine. Like I look effeminate because of my. I do have a very effeminate.
like a
build.
feminine M&M.
I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
Yeah,
That's good. That's pretty good.
a slim shady lady. Yeah,
yeah, that's good.
that was just Bo Burnham. I was just quoting Bo Burnham there.
Oh, that
No, that wasn't me. That was Bo Burnham.
Really?
Yeah. So you have to go tweet at Bo Burnham right now and say, my friend Ryan stole a joke from you. I laughed. I wanted to make sure you know I laughed at your joke.
I'm more so disappointed because I thought that was you.
Yeah. But I've said it many times over the course of the show and stuff.
Are you
too.
serious?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never remembered that. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Anyway,
But nice because I texted Haiti. That's the next line after what I said.
I was like, oh, really? So you grew up homophobic? Okay. And he's like, now I got this 15-year-old daughter who, she wants to be a boy sometimes. So I really understand it now. And I'm not homophobic anymore. And I was like, all right, man, good. That's great. That's great to hear. I'm really glad to hear that. And what else did he start? Yeah, he started talking about sex with me. And it was really uncomfortable. Like, he really started going into it. And he was like, you ever go, you're out here late at night. You're going to go play a game of hide the penis?
You should have told him that was real clever.
I was like, that's good, man.
You should have went.
Hey.
You should have just went, good one.
Are you a comedian during the day? And
Have you ever thought of stand-up, my man?
and then what else did he say? Oh yeah, he said he didn't like. He started going into his like sexual preferences, and he told me, and I didn't ask for any of this, dude. He just like went straight into it. He was like, I really don't like. He said just like he goes, I don't like Asian girls, to tell you the truth. And I was like, oh,
Was this guy white?
yeah.
Okay.
Large, which surprised me because as like an overweight white man, I would have thought he would have loved Asian girls. And I was like, oh, I mean, hey man, to each his own. And he's like, they're too squeaky for me. And I was like,
squeaky.
that's what he said. He said they're too squeaky. I was like, squeaky.
Does he only watch porn?
Yeah,
Has he never had legitimate sex with an Asian
That's
woman
the
before?
thing is I think that he only like his idea of Asian women is from like porn.
Yeah.
And like he's like, they squeak during sex, and I'm just not into that because as a 345-pound man, that's not really for me. And I was like, yeah, okay,
in the
man.
porn, they're like,
And like I was like, all right, man. It was really uncomfortable. It's just a really uncomfortable conversation. And then he was like, but my friend, he married a Japanese woman. He's got a Japanese wife, and she's so sweet. And
I'm surprised he didn't say Jap.
I figured he would. And I was surprised that he, I'm like, this was in Washington. I thought that I wouldn't get an Uber driver like this in Washington, but, and then at the end of the night, he reached back and the Asian conversation was happening like he pulled up to let me out and he kept going on and I didn't know how to end it. So instead of responding to the Asian thing, I was just like, all right, man, have a great night. Thanks for the ride. And I shook his hand, and I got out and I left. And that's my story.
Then he went on his way to go terrorize someone else.
Yeah, he probably did terrorize. Like it was just.
What was his Uber rating?
I didn't check. I can go back and check right now.
Go back and check.
All right, I'm gonna go check this man's Uber real quick, live on the podcast. Let's see. Nope, hold on, wrong person. I goofed, dude. Relax.
How many Ubers have you taken after this guy, Matt?
Okay, I found it. Jeff.
Jeff.
There he is. Look at him. He got his picture. That's Jeff.
That looks like a guy that would be in the Japanese women.
Right?
And of course he has a 4.7. He's not doing
4.7.
That's not doing well. For an Uber,
For Uber,
that's not good at all.
Can I check my rating real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gone up or if it's gone down. Let me see.
Let
What's your
let me check my rating too.
Jeff drove me at 11:57 p.m. on November 26, 2017. And I never rated him, dude.
There's probably someone I've never rated because I just don't look at the app directly afterwards.
Oh, he's from Salem, Oregon. Oh, wait, Uber drivers can put in about them section.
I'm 4.83 by the way.
Whoa, dude. My
4.84.
I am, let's see what I am.
4.86.
4.86.
I knew it.
How'd you know?
Because I think we checked like a few months ago and mine was the same thing and yours is the same thing.
Oh, damn. I swear it used to be 4.82. guess I must be charming all these Uber drivers with my boyish charm.
You
Wait.
and I have talked about this before. We don't know what we did to deserve these scores on Uber.
Yeah, we get in and we shut our mouths, and
I get on my phone and I shut the fuck up.
like I don't bother them at all. Why would they rate me less than 5 stars?
And I
simply
always
don't
give them
get
a
it.
good tip.
Same.
I always fucking I don't slam the door ever.
I'm very cautious of slamming the door these days. I am so careful.
My thing is, I don't think many Uber drivers actually rate the customers, so we only see Uber drivers that only rate the customers are people negative.
Yeah, right. Okay, I can read more about my Uber driver, Jeff. In his About Me section, it says sarcastic intellectual. So he describes himself as a sarcastic intellectual.
So what if he was just goofing you the whole time?
He could have been like super fucking smart, and he was just like, I'm gonna play with this kid.
He's like, I'm gonna play like I'm this dumb homophobic.
No,
I don't know,
former homophobic.
Former homophobic. I don't know. People who describe themselves as an intellectual usually aren't.
Yeah. Unless you're like Albert Einstein and you're known for being an intellectual.
If you're like Tesla, then you're an intellectual.
Yeah. Guys, just a little life tip. Probably don't describe yourself as an intellectual, because if you are an intellectual, people will pick up on that. And if you describe yourself as an intellectual, people are probably going to think you're a little pious.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff, his writer compliments, the biggest writer compliment he has is great conversation. He has 44 great conversations.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and 2 awesome musics. I wonder what he was playing. But there's even thank you notes you can read. Wow.
Thank you notes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your service. Sounds like he was in the fucking military. 1,000 5-star trips. This guy's done 1,000 5-star trips.
But a lot of people just boop.
Man, well, wherever you are tonight, Jeff,
Bless you.
this podcast is dedicated to you.
And we're
buddy.
going to tell all of our viewers to pray for you,
Yeah,
Jeff.
everyone pray for Jeff, all
Let's
right?
take a moment of silence. Put some nice music on in the back.
I remembered something.
Are you
He said that
interrupting prayer?
he broke his toe the day before. So he does have a broken toe, and he crashed his car. So guys, let's pray for Jeff together as a group right now and say, Lord Yeshua, please bless Jeff and his broken toe and his broken car, and please give him gift of Asian woman and no homophobia. God bless. Amen.
Okay, Matt. Well, I was giving people a moment of silence because I didn't want to enforce my own religion on others.
We can
So
here. I'll beep out the deity's name I said, and people can. When
you said Lord. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of lords, but still, there's some that aren't.
Well,
lords.
I'll beep the whole thing out, and then people can imagine when the beep happened. They could fill in their head whatever deity they worship.
I think that's disrespectful to your prayer. I mean, I respect your prayer, but I also want to respect others. So let's just not talk at the same time for 2 seconds. People can pause the video in that 2 seconds and then
Okay.
pray for
Okay.
Jeff. Okay, in whatever religious context you want.
Of course. So guys, here is 2 seconds of silence for you to pray.
Pause.
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Okay,
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Got some good prayers in for Jeff. Jeff, hope your toe feels better, buddy.
you just had at least 10 people pray for him.
I'd say at least 100 people prayed for him.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
You know what? No, dude. I'm gonna say 1,000 people prayed for Jeff.
Fuck.
Right. Think about it. Let's say
those in the comments. Just you pray for Jeff in the comments. Leave your prayer in the comments so we know how many prayers exactly there are.
Also, you know what? People, this is not just a podcast that's going to be listened to one day. 5 years from now, someone's going to listen to this, and they're going to pray for Jeff 5 years from now. So you know what we've done for Jeff? We have given Jeff infinite prayers from this point out.
Yeah, and please start prayer threads in the comments.
For Jeff.
Try not to stack them up. Try not to stack. Don't make every singular comment a prayer. Of course, that's going to happen just because
It happens.
But for the people that don't want all the fame, start a prayer thread with
let's
your
get
friends.
some threads going, and let's pray for Jeff.
Down
all right,
in the
guys?
comments section. So thank you.
Thank you, and I'm sure Jeff will have his life blessed in ways unimaginable.
Okay.
So thank you, Jeff.
It
You
was
read a book on why you masturbate?
yeah, because some youth leader or something.
Great way to just start going into the story.
It was we were learning the sex lessons or whatever. In
My church never did
church.
those.
That sounds weird. I went.
We were learning the sex lessons in church.
It was sex ed, but in church. But it was mainly like
Really?
don't do this shit when we
don't
go
kill
on youth
yourself.
trips and shit like that. And it taught you, and it was teaching you what exactly they meant. And so it's like your body's gonna start changing. You're gonna feel attracted, but don't act on those things. You know, it's like one of those types of things. And they had books that they were like saying were good. And so one of the youth leaders was like, "Here's a book." It was all about kind of like what happens in your brain while you masturbate.
Like the science of like the dopamine and everything.
Why do you feel bad after you masturbate?
Well, that's actually God inside of
It was a
your head.
Christian book. Like
Yeah, that's like,
the sole purpose of the book wasn't about masturbation, but that was a large section.
man,
And I remember
imagine
it was
like,
bookmarked.
okay, so we feel weird when people ask us what we do. Imagine it's like, so what do you do? I wrote a book teaching Christian kids the truth about masturbation. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna start saying in Ubers. I'm like, I write books about masturbation for to educate Christian children.
To educate the youth. Some of it, I don't know if it was true. One of the things was once you
Once you splooge.
once you splooge, your
Shoot
like
your gravy.
brain takes a snapshot of that image or whatever.
I don't know about that.
Not to where you can pull it up like perfectly in your brain, but like that is kind of seared a little more into your memory at that moment. This is just like from our live show and every other stand-up comedian for their first set. So I had the weirdest Uber drive the other day. By other day, I mean last night, but other day in reference to when this podcast is coming out.
Okay.
So I order an Uber and I get in. It's this just probably 40-something-year-old Asian dad type of dude. And I'm like, he's like, Ryan? Yes. Okay. He's like, is it racist if I do his accent?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, how?
You're like, okay.
That's fine.
Okay. He's like, Ryan? I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay, brother. Okay, brother. I got you. I'm like, okay. It's like, it was weird. He was so like blatant about it. And all of a sudden, I was listening to the song and I unfortunately didn't Shazam it or anything.
That's the worst, man.
But it sounded, at first I just accepted it was like some sort of 50 Cent song because it sounded like a rap song that 50 Cent would do, you know, with those eyes like,
It's got those 808s and
that type
dude.
of shit, and it sounded like a 50 Cent thing, but then I couldn't understand anything that the guy was saying, and I'm like, is this English or am I being racist? And I think it turned out to not be English. My theory is that he was listening to some like Asian 50 Cent rap type song, and every time like he would talk to me, he'd always end it with, okay, brother, you got it, brother. I'm like, okay. Dude, I got you, brother. It's almost like we had been stationed together in Afghanistan, and he had my back 100% after our long tour.
I think that Ryan, I think that you give off such a personable vibe.
Yeah.
He saw you and he's like, this guy is so fucking cool. Like, well, it's probably because you were wearing your do-rag and everything.
Yeah, I was wearing my do-rag
What's up, brother?
and my dollar chains and everything. I have chains that have a dollar attached to them.
Not the dollar sign,
No,
an
no.
actual $1 bill,
Yeah.
like stapled to the end of the chain, just like with a little hole puncher. I like that, Ryan. That's got to be your look this year. Like, get rid of the hat you're wearing now. Get the do-rag. I love do-rags, man. Like the little tight ones that just look like panty stockings.
Where they tie a little bun up at the top and then it like goes down on the back like hair and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like a fabric mullet.
Yeah, it's like
That's what a do-rag
it's like
is.
fabric hair.
Yeah.
What if it was purple?
Boo.
And then he comes back the next night. Boo. Gotcha.
Charleston's super haunted.
Oh yeah, Charleston's like a famous like ghost city.
I went on several ghost tours.
Have you been on ghost tours?
Yeah, they're nice. It's just like you get to sit in a carriage being drawn by a horse, even though they stopped that because it's so...
Sorry, I just imagine like
a horse with a magic
a pencil
marker or something.
and he's drawing you in
a
a carriage. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm from Charleston. I've never been on a ghost tour. So I had an Uber driver in Charleston. He was like, in these
these tree huggers are trying to get rid of the horses. And what I'm saying is, you know, they put me in a factory at 150 degrees, and I'm not complaining. But these horses who were born and raised in these conditions, it's like, suck it up, they're horses. And he was talking about the tree huggers trying to, and he literally says, he goes, ooh, and they're all about these animals' rights. I didn't know, I was just like, okay. Ooh. Animals have feelings. Ooh. Apparently, like, they say animals can feel pain.
That's bullshit.
That's just what the liberal media wants you to think.
That is a bunch of snickery-dickery-doo.
It sounds like a type of Girl Scout cookie. Snickery-dickery-doos. Can I get 2 boxes of snickery-dickery-doos?
Welcome back. It is the 90th episode of the Super Mega Cast.
There we go,
Here
man.
we go. Or the Super Mega Podcast. Whatever you want to call it. It's whatever you want it to be. But I mean, it is the Super Mega Cast.
You can just call it that one podcast.
Yeah, and it's strange. It's this weird thing. If you like the podcast, you are able to go onto iTunes, search up Super Mega Cast, and it pops up. An even crazier thing is that you can actually rate the podcast and help us out by getting up there in the charts and supporting your boys.
You could if you wanted.
You know, by 4 or 5 stars. We're not.
I'd
tell you
prefer 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars is great, but you know, if you feel like we're faltering in any way, which we're not, you can lie and say 4 stars.
But I mean, I would really prefer if you just give the 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars would be nice.
That's what I do to Uber drivers. You know, like I always give Uber drivers 5 stars, and if I didn't like them, I just don't rate them.
If I didn't like them, it's usually like 4 stars.
I always feel bad giving Uber drivers less than 5. I'm like, because apparently like 3 stars is devastating. So I'm just like,
well,
no.
also think of it because like it's our responsibility as the passengers to help other passengers out. Like if you feel like your driver is unfit or unsafe in his travels, then I think it's very important to rate that driver poorly.
You know what, Ryan? That's true. I'm gonna start giving all my drivers 1 star that I don't like. Because
it's just like, well, I mean, if they're legitimately putting you in danger, like if they almost get into a wreck, I'd probably give them a bad score.
I've never rated 1 star though on Uber. I don't think I have ever done that.
If it's their fault, not like if they accidentally someone crashes.
Someone pulls in front of them. It's like, oh,
no, but like if they've
1 star.
run a red light and then almost crash into someone, and they're obviously throughout the course of like, you know, allow them little tiny mistakes because we all make them, but at the same time recognize that would you want this person to drive you again? I'm
gonna just start bringing a bullwhip in the back of my Ubers, and then like just throughout the ride, just whoosh, like if he messes up, just crack him over the back with the whip. Like, come on, driver.
I've never been picked up in a convertible Uber.
I haven't either. Like, and technically a convertible can be an Uber.
Can it?
Yeah, it's just 4 doors. I think is the requirements. It's 4 doors.
Okay.
I mean, I got picked up in a pickup truck once.
Oh yeah,
Uber.
yeah.
It was weird. I was like, huh. It was like a very lifted pickup truck, and he pulled up, and I was like, oh, this is my Uber? I got in.
Soon, Uber's just going to be like, you want to be picked up in what make and model of car? What color of car? Because everyone's going to be renting or leasing something.
Yeah, have you ever ridden in a convertible?
No, once.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is. I mean, it's a lot of wind.
It is.
You don't really enjoy the music that much because...
No, or conversation.
Yeah, or conversation.
It's just wind.
It's just wind. So actually... I have to say, it is nice because you rarely get that kind of silence when you're in a group, and I think it's sometimes it works for the best.
Yeah, man, I love. I've ridden in a convertible like twice in my life, and I was like, this is really cool. And then you get out, and your hair is like completely
after you get off of a
back.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yo, my dad, he's not like the rest. He's kind of like a cute girl, just minus the breast.
Okay, Matt, to have another gun on me, I need to go kill a goat. So that's...
Yeah.
Want to go kill a goat?
Sure. Makes perfect sense.
Let's see where goats are.
The gods won't let you have a second gun until you sacrifice goat blood, so... I was in an Uber recently, and the driver was talking about all these animals he's eaten, and like... He's like, oh man, kangaroo, man, that's so good. It's so good.
Kangaroo?
Oh, raccoon is amazing, man. Raccoon is so good. And then I mentioned, like, I think the only weird thing I've had is I had horse when I was in Asia. And he was like, man, I would never eat a horse.
Wait,
and it just got silent. And I was like, really? You're going to shame me for eating horse when you've had raccoon and kangaroo?
Like, what? Like, I guess,
Like, what? I just thought the logic of that was so stupid.
Well, what if you like, when he's like, I've had people before, my best friend let me eat them.
No, man, my best friend, he had to get his leg amputated, so we just ate that shit, man.
It was just such a weird contrast.
He's like, oh man, kangaroo, so good.
Hell, I mean, it was offered to me in Japan. It was horse, so I tried it. Man, I would never eat a horse. Never eat a horse. He said it very sternly, and then it was just silent in the Uber. Only the sounds of us breathing and the driving.
Breathing in the driving?
Yeah. Silence.
He starts breathing heavily.
Man, I'd never eat a horse, man!
What the fuck, man?
Just slams on the brakes, makes me get out. We're on the highway. Just please drive, please drive.
As you get out, you accidentally knock out a book. You bend down to pick it up. It's Black Beauty.
And he's got like inside, he's got like a little like collar for a horse that died when was like obviously like he had a pet horse that died when he was a kid.
Okay.
You ever seen a horse wear a collar, man?
No.
Horses don't wear collars.
They shouldn't wear collars.
It's weird though. What animals like?
Dogs?
So what can?
Cats?
Dogs and cats, and that's it?
Fennec foxes?
I guess you could put a collar on a fox. Why don't people put collars on their kids to identify them? Oh yeah, and then he started talking about China. He's like,
man, I bet they eat some weird shit over there, man.
and I was like, I don't know.
Like,
Man, all they eat is dog over there. And I was like,
What? Yeah, well, I know that there's a place in China that had a dog meat festival that I think they shut down.
man, all they eat's dog, man. I was like,
He just kept repeating, man, all
Yeah,
they
dude.
eat is dog.
I mean, he just the way he shunned me for horse. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't regularly eat horse. It's because it was like a one-time thing where I'm like, when else am I gonna get to try it? It's already prepared. I might as well try it. It's an experience in life not that many people get.
Subway, eat fresh.
We were in Seattle for the first show of our Pacific Northwest tour, and we get into an Uber, and the first thing you see when we get in is like these big laminated signs that was like, "Do not tip me. Instead, consider supporting my book." I wrote like a fantasy book. You can check it out here, and he like typed out a URL on the poster, and I don't think too much of it. It's kind of funny, but me, Ryan, and Jackson, we're crammed in the backseat of the Uber, driving through the snowy streets of Seattle. And I get a text from Jackson in a group chat with Ryan, and it just says, "This dude's name is P. Ness."
P.Ness.
Like he abbreviated his first name to just P, and his last name is Ness. And I'm like, no way. And I look at the poster again, the laminated poster for his book. The dude's fucking name was P. Ness. And this dude's serious. You look at him, you look at his book and his ad and his Uber, like that's not a joke. Like this guy was serious.
Did anyone else get the vibe that like he was actually pretty peeved that we didn't ask him about his book because it explicitly told us to.
And also like I think he noticed I was laughing at the penis thing because when Jackson sent me that text, I could not keep it together. I was covering I was also making it very obvious. Ryan, laughing. you were like, "What's so funny, buddy?" What's so funny? I'm like, this dude has to know his name is P-Ness, right? Like, you don't think he's realized that by now, right? He was what, like 29?
My question is, do you think he put that on his book, like initially to like plan for that, or do you think that like he realized that after the fact and tried to roll with it? He was like, yeah, it's a good joke, right?
like he spent all of his savings to print like 500 copies, and then he realizes after the fact.
He's like, haha, yeah.
Yeah, that was like I did that on purpose.
It's a bit.
I was just playing myself,
Penis.
It's funny because it sounds like like. What if he like still hasn't noticed? Like he's like 29.
He's like a big fan of this. He's like, shit.
He's like listening to this and he's like, man, it was so cool. I got to drive them the other day. Let me listen to their podcast. And when he like listens and he's like, fuck, dude.
Here's that, like,
my name is Penis. Shit. Why would his parents do that? Like that? Like, did they not fucking think for 2 seconds that their kid's name was gonna be Penis?
I mean,
they thought he'd go by his first name, like Peter.
It was his
like
middle name.
Peter Ness is not much better.
Peter
Ness just sounds like a like funny way to say penis.
Paul Ness.
It all sounds like a funny way to say penis.
Patricia.
Oh,
Ness.
I gotta pull out my penis. It's like, it still sounds funny. My Peterness. See, like you can't say that shit.
Hold on, my Philip Ness.
My Philness.
No, what my Philness?
My Philipness?
Philipness. Whoops.
What?
I spit up a little bit.
Yeah, I saw.
Whatever, Adam can clean it up later.
He's like,
my peakness.
He's like, look. He's like, how the wiping out.
Got it. 10 red bananas, baby.
10 red bananas. I don't want to go through that portal. Having too much fun shooting folks.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
I've never had so much fun in my life.
Oh man, get that watermelon, bro.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
I almost threw up in an Uber the other day and it was awful. I was telling you the story. So like, you know how when you have to throw up, but you're trying not to, you need to concentrate 100% on not throwing up. Like you need silence. You need to just be like in the zone of like, don't throw up. Don't throw up. Okay, I'm not gonna throw up. Don't do it. So I get in this Uber and I was feeling really nauseous because I just chugged a large protein shake and it was a little too much for me. And I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is gonna come back up. So I get in this Uber and it was a pretty short ride. It was like a mile. And the woman turns on the loudest rap music. And I was like, oh no.
Oh, all that rap music, you hear me?
All that murder music. And I'm sitting there like, oh no, please turn it down. This is distracting me from trying not to throw up and I don't want to throw up in your car. And she turns around, she's like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, good. How's your day? It's good. And I'm trying to keep it down, like, but she keeps talking to me, and in my head, I'm like, please stop talking to me. You're gonna make me throw up.
Because like the vibrations of someone's voice can make you throw up. It feels like
because
them talking or the bass.
The response, the response, like, of her talking to me is taking my mind off of concentrating on not throwing up, and then I have to respond too. And when your throat has that like tightness of about to throw up, like you don't want to talk. You just want to just sit there and just be in the zone of be like, don't puke. And she's like, so what do you do for a living? What's the company called? And I'm just like, ugh. And I was giving really short answers. And then she just looked back at me in the rearview mirror and she's like, are you nervous? And I was like,
well, were you nervous, Matt?
She could see there was something up with me, and I was like, no, I just have really bad heartburn. And I got out of the car and I sat on a bench and put my face in my hands and tried not to throw up for about 3 minutes, and then I felt better. That's my story. I hate it. I hate the feeling. The feeling of about to throw up is so much worse than actually throwing up.
Throwing up is great.
Throwing up feels
like
fantastic.
A big relief.
Like right when it happens, it's amazing. But like the lead up to it, where your throat is tightening, you're salivating, it's hard to swallow, you know, like your stomach is clenching, like that is the worst feeling ever. The act of throwing up's not bad.
Although it doesn't feel good on the throat.
It doesn't, it burns. Got all that acid. Bad acid.
Oh,
God, I did it!
Oh!